So, with the beginning of the Halloween season for me, I started my Halloween movie marathons with The Conjuring. The Conjuring has always been one of my favorite horror franchises. It's one of the few that actually can kind of get to me. I've always been a larger dude, so a lot of the horror movies don't really scare me. Things like Halloween, like it doesn't get to me because I'll just try to fight Michael Myers. I may lose, but I'm not going to be afraid of something like that. Versus the supernatural, the ghostly realm, not as much I can really do on that. I know what theoretically is supposed to work against them, but I can't just punch a ghost, so it gets to me a little bit more. There's less control I have in there. So yeah, the Conjuring movies are some of my favorites because of that. But even past that, they're really well done. So every year, you pick up on different things watching these movies. And this year, just got done watching it, and I noticed it even still gets to me a little bit. It still gives some of that anxiety, some of that chest tightening, particularly when they go down into the cellar and the ball bounces out behind all the furniture and everything. So that's one of the first times you really see a haunting in it. So yeah, it gets me. Doesn't like scare me, but it really gets the apprehension going, and it really gets me invested in the movie. So yeah, this movie is great. I wouldn't say there's a ton of scares in it, but it does really good at the world building and setting up for the future movies. It's a good paced movie in there. In the beginning, we're seeing the two kind of sides of the story unfold. So we get the haunted families actually side of it, but we're also being introduced to Ed and Lorraine Warren for the first time. So as we're getting to know them and setting up the future movies, actually gives us a good idea of what we can see. So it sets up Annabelle for the that entire series as well, but it gives into a good pace, and then a few like tension moments in there. Uh, Once the hauntings really start up there, we get some even more good tension moments. My biggest complaint really is near the ending of the movie. It feels pretty short, and then it doesn't really feel like it's concluded to me. So it ends with a large part because of Lorraine um, sharing the memory that the possessed mother had shared with her before about the entire family being on the beach, and it feels like the typical like love conquers all uh, solution to me, but it doesn't really explain and doesn't really add up to me why that would vanquish the witch. I get like the witch being separated from um, the mother, but we know of many other possessions throughout the history of that house where the mother winds up, not the mother, the witch winds up possessing all these mothers, but even when she gets sent out or leaves the host, she's not vanquished. So it doesn't really do a good job of explaining um, why this actually worked. Um, Maybe there's some tie in with the new movie that they're all going to wrap back around. I don't really see it. But even with that gripe, it's not a scary movie by any means, but it's a solid Halloween watch every year for me. In terms of scarability, I would say it's more like maybe a 5 or 6. In terms of quality for Halloween movies, I'd definitely give it an 8. Well, what are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments.